welcome back to the ministry. And today we are talking about next level and growth. All right, guys, we're going to dig into this. Growth is something that you have to walk through. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable in most cases. You're not going to like it. But it helps you. I was looking at the article that I was referencing this from, and it was talking about a time about 5 years ago. I had come back from church. This Sunday I was watching church online. I'm out of town from my actual congregation, and the pastor's wife was speaking on the wheat and the tares. A lot of us have been in a season where we have been walking through a series of tests, a series of trials, a series of the best way that I can describe it is, you ever see those tournaments on TV that it shows you the way that people do these athletic tournaments, and they have to get across from one side to the other side without falling, without doing all of this, but it's literally an adult jungle gym, pretty much. That's what we have been in. We've been being processed through series of this. It's almost like with every level that we graduate to the next elevation, we enter a new tournament type. It's like if you've ever played games on your phone, and each time you get to the next level, it's a new series of tests. The course gets longer, the experience gets wider, and you're sitting there like, why is this happening? I thought I just barely got out the last experience. I'm getting rejuvenated, I'm getting recuperated, I'm getting recalibrated, I'm resetting myself, I'm resting in this moment while they explaining to me this next course, but I still gotta go through it again. Wait, when do I get to that point? We never get to that point. It's funny, I'm actually remembering a conversation I had with my mother's cousin right in this moment. My mother's cousin called me around, it was a few months after she had passed away. I was notifying her certain things, and she was talking about, you never really end up finishing up your course of growth. As long as you are alive, you are going to continue to be growing into something new. And I remember hearing her say that, and at the time I was about 18 years old. We think our growth ends at our milestones. Elementary school, turning 10, going to middle school, turning 13, going to high school at 14, graduating high school at 17, 18 years old. You reach that milestone and you're like, yes. But I always remember when we had it was a white celebration the year that I graduated from high school. Everybody had to show up. We all had to wear white. I remember I kind of believed my dad into putting on a white outfit that day, only to come to find out he didn't have to wear white. And I was like, but they said I told everybody we had to wear white. Anyway, the woman did this speech where she talked about enjoy this moment, because this is the last time that you will be in this moment where you will be able to enjoy. Look to your left or your right, because these are your peers, and this is the last moment in which you will have this level of enjoyment before you enter into the real world. And it's not like this. You're going to go through things, you're going to have struggles, you're going to have processes, you're going to have these things, and you're going to, but you're never going to have this again. And I remembered her saying that, but this is the first time I remembered in over 17 years this woman saying that. And it's ironic, it's been about the same amount of time that I was alive then to the time that I have been out of it, 17 to 18 years. We all have processes to go through. And with every level we grow in life, sometimes we don't grow in the direction in which we think that we should grow. We don't go to the college. We don't go to the college we think that we're supposed to go through. We go to community college instead of going to the university. Maybe we don't graduate the college that at the level that we thought we did, but we get as much experience as we possibly can while we're in there. Maybe we don't get, you'll be in the relationship, but you don't get married to that particular person. The relationship falls apart. But in every level of that, you grew. In every level of that, you developed in a different way. Every level prepared you for that next level in which you are being prepared to go into. That relationship might not have been the relationship that you walked into marriage in, but I bet you it prepared you for the relationship when you do. That college experience may not have been the graduate experience that you thought you were going to walk through, but I bet you life gave you that graduate experience. I remember I walked through a season of hard knocks that a lot of people say that life is your college. And I'm going to say it is. You will walk through experiences in life that will teach you. I walked through an experience for 4 years that couldn't have been no better than the experience I walked through in college. But it was better because it took me through the processes necessary in order for me to get through and go through the things that I was going to be going into. It's a process. And it ain't a fun one. But it prepared me mentally. It prepared my emotions. It prepared me spiritually. It's prepared me to handle financially certain things. It prepared me socially to deal with certain things. It prepared me in order for me to be able to help prepare you. I've had these articles and these things that I am telling you for 5-6 years. But when you are walking with God, sometimes He'll give you the revelation. He'll say, sit on that for a minute. I know you want to put it out there. I know you want to get it to the people. I know you want the people to know what it is that you went through, you're walking through. You want this to be like your video diary. You want this to be your experience. You want this to be something that's going to help you help others walk through some of the same. But I need to take you through something. He had me write up all the articles while I was walking through certain areas of my life. And then once I walked through them, then He allowed me to start releasing them here to you guys. I had to go through my life college experience after I wrote my articles in order for me to better be able to share and dictate and give you the information in which God was trying to give you, because I walked through it. Not to say when I wrote it I hadn't walked through situations, but I walked through it at a level that I knew how to explain to the level in which God needs for me to talk to and speak to in this season. Because this is a different level. This is a completely different level. I may not look the same as I did back then. I may not be in the same situation as I was back then, but guess what? None of us are. Life has changed. Even the way that we operate in life has changed in the past 2 years. But it gave us the ability, it gave me, my experiences gave me the ability to express and be able to help you through your experiences. But what is that? What is it that I learned? I was able to learn that there is a level of mental fortitude necessary to go into the places and spaces in which I'm called to walk in. I used to think, oh, well, I know this, and I know this, and I know this, and I know this, and I can have a conversation with blah, 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 and I can walk into a room and do this, that, and the other, and the Lord pulled me back and said, I need to teach you some things first. I've been in rooms with people. I've been in situations with people. And sometimes when you get into that place, it makes you proud. But God's got to humble you back down and say, yeah, I know you were in some rooms with some people. I know that you dealt with business people. I know that you dealt with this, that, and the other situation. I know. But I need you to sit down right here and I need you to learn something real quick. Because what you're about to walk into, it ain't just business. It ain't just creativity. I wish. A lot of people walk into these realms and industries thinking that they're going to just walk in. You can't just walk in. No. You got to be able to see, observe the ground, observe what's going on around the situation, observe what's needed and necessary in order to be able to move into those spaces and places and be able to discern your territory. Because if you're not able to discern your territory, you walk in that door, they will eat you up and spit you back out. And you'll be wondering, what the heck just happened? How did that just happen? I did everything I thought I knew. You did not know anything spiritual in order to keep you safe, to keep you alert, and keep you ready to move and maneuver around the obstacles. Because they're going to be obstacles that are going to pop up. Opportunity is going to pop up, and it's not going to be a godly opportunity. It's kind of like if you've ever seen police officers do target practice in movies or anything. There's always a pop up. Okay, this is a bad guy. This is a bad guy. This is a bad guy. This is a good guy. And you have to be able to react in a single second to not shoot the good person that is actually an innocent. And they're like, it's like, okay, innocent, and your brain is saying innocent, and that's somebody that's about to shoot you. And you have to be aware, and that's what God will teach you in those seasons, in the seasons in which He will take you through life's college. He's going to show you, I'm going to show you where your innocents are, and I'm going to show you how to discern the ones that aren't. So that when we play target practice, and I give you the gun and you start shooting, that's your enemy, that's your enemy, that's your enemy. That is somebody in disguise, and this is somebody that is carrying an innocent on their back, and they are begging to get away from them. How do you handle that situation? How do you negotiate this scenario? How do you mentally deal with that? And then the emotional. Think about it like you are a military person. People go into the military and come out traumatized. What do you think walking with the Lord into some of these places and spaces is going to leave you feeling? You're going to actually feel slightly traumatized when you go in emotionally. Your emotions gonna feel like somebody jacked you completely up, and you can't give into those emotions. You gotta walk through them. You gotta feel them. God's gonna let you have your moments to feel those emotions, but you're going to have to walk smartly. When people test you, when people make you angry, frustrated, depressed, this, that, and the other, you gotta be able. Yeah, I'm going through that, but I still gotta keep moving. Yeah, I may be going through pain. I still gotta keep moving. I was literally listening to my apostle a little bit earlier today, and he was talking about how understanding when God is testing you in comparison to when the enemy is attacking you, and knowing how to operate in that. How to emotionally, because God will put you through certain types of tests that it's a controlled environment. He knows every person that is an operation, that is an operation of this test, but it's a scenario. It's much like training camp, that where a cop or a military person is put into a field training where you're going to have to go through a special operative situation, and you're being tested, and he will allow the test to happen, but you didn't do nothing wrong, and it's going to be a simple experience, but he's not letting you know that, oh, this is, before I test you, I'm not letting you know that this is a test. I've created the controlled environment, but this is a test. 9 times out of 10, you should be prepared for the test anyway, because it was something you did just prior to that in order to invoke the test in the first place. My consecrators, raise your hands. My fasters, raise your hands. And sometimes you're being tested throughout. But you have to know that the Lord is with you even in the midst of those tests and trials where you're sitting there like, God, what are we doing here? God, what's up here? God, it's hot over here. What is this? And God's trying to tell you, I know it's hot. I know you want me to remove you. I know you're like, hello, Jesus, can you drop the rope and pull me up out of this situation? And God's like, nope, I'm going to give you the strategy to walk through this landmine scenario, and you're going to walk through it. And you're sitting up there like, I don't really want to do this. And God's like, I know you don't, but I need you to trust your instincts. I need you to trust the way that I've shown you how to get out of this scenario. And I need you to trust the skills I've already given you to get you out of it. I know you didn't get them in scenarios like this, but you're about to use them in scenarios like this. And this isn't even a fullness of what you're going to be experiencing. So I need to test you in these trainings so that you will emotionally have the fortitude. Meaning when somebody jumps up at you and decides they want to accuse you, you're not going to flip out and be like, and say a whole bunch of words out your mouth you shouldn't be saying as a Christian, because they're gonna come. When there's a scenario that is set up to trap you, you have the eyes to see, wait, this person set me up for a trap. I'm not liking the way that the scenario is looking. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to not orchestrate myself in this scenario. I'm going to do as I'm led to do by the Lord only, because that could be a booby trap just waiting. This person pops up and they're like, oh, I want to offer you this opportunity, and you're like, wait, and you're like, God, this is what you want me to do? It seems too good to be true. Is this you, or is this an enemy tactic? And it's like, you have to be able to maneuver in that and not allow your emotions to get the better of you. You get injured on the field. You're going through pain. You're in a spiritual warfare thing. Your body's in absolute pain. The Lord showed me something this morning. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say it, but I'll say it like this. Birthing pains. You're in the process of birthing pains, and you're going through every type of pain you can go through in the midst of this experience. And you're still got to maneuver this trial. It's like a person that gets shot by a buckshot gun and they've got pain shooting through their leg or their side or their back or wherever it is that they got shot at, and they still got to complete the course. They're near the end, but they still gotta complete this level of the course's training, but physically they gotta be able to do it. Physically, you have to be able to maintain the run in which you're going to be able to do. Because you're going through a training right now where you're doing speed, agility, testing your ability, your reflexes, your ability to go all through all of that. But then you have to you're going to be going into arenas, spaces, and places where you're going to have to run and do this. You're going to have to run for planes. You're going to have to run for this. You're going to have to be able to maneuver in spaces. You're going to have to be able to withstand 18-hour days. You're going to have to be able to not only withstand 18-hour days, on top of that, you're going to have to still deal with your family after that 18 hours. You're going to also, on top of that, have to deal with all of these other different areas in which you're going to be operating in at the same time. And you have to have that physical stamina in order to be able to keep moving in the midst of all of that. Are you going to be able to rest? You're going to have your moments. You're going to rest at the end of the night. But I've even heard of, I was listening to a young woman the other day. She worked in the entertainment industry, and she said that she had been scheduled to do backgrounds for a tour on, was it a cruise? I can't even remember what it was. But she had to do, it's 30 days on the cruise, 27 she's going to be on stage, and only getting a break 2 weekends out of that 27 days, and having to do all these shows. Meaning it's 30 days, 27 shows, and only 2 to 3 days that she gets off. And in the middle of that, the Lord provided an opportunity at the point that she was at her most exhausted, and then told her, I need you to travel from here to there and still present yourself as if you got the energy to do this. And she was like, Lord, I don't know how we gonna do this, but I'm gonna do this. God will give you the strength, because he's gonna show you in those moments, it ain't you, it's all me. Not your will, God's will. Not your thoughts, God's thoughts. And sometimes you have to run real quick and do something real quick and still be back. And you thought you was going to take that time and be able to rest. And God was like, sorry, I got an opportunity for you. I need you to do this right quick. And you're like, but I was going to sleep. I said, now's not the time to sleep. Now's the time to run. I need you to run during this season. Spiritually, remaining connected to the Lord, even in the midst of the things that the Lord's providing you with in these seasons. Remembering to call on the Lord. Don't forget your first love in the midst of, oh God, the acceleration is happening. The run, you're running, you're doing, you're this, it's happening. You're back, you're forth, you're in the middle, you're running. And God's like, don't forget about me. Because you're not going to have the energy to maintain. I don't care how much exercise you do. I don't care how many singing exercises you do if you're a singer. I don't care how much practice you do. I don't care how much, whatever it is that you think that you would do in order to get you through that moment. It ain't gonna matter. Not one bit. If God ain't with you. I had a pastor say this one time. He said that he standing out there on that stage one night. He prophesied, very accurate most nights. But this particular night, he was on it. Everything was operating, and the Lord said, "I ain't got nothing for you tonight." And he said, "What?" And he showed him that night. He literally showed him. He said, the Lord ain't give him nothing. He didn't give him nothing new. He didn't give him nothing to make him feel like, oh, I'm going to be able to maintain this crowd. I'm going to be able to prophesy. He didn't give him nothing. He was like, I just wanted to check to see if you were understanding that this is me, not you. This is God, not your hands, that's doing this. You can't prophesy accurately without me. There is nothing that you can do if you are walking with God that you think that you're going to be able to do without Him, because it will crush you. So understand that you got to keep your spiritual life just as intact as you did when you weren't running. Now that you are. Meaning you had to put the word in your ears while you're running them races, because that's about the only way that you're going to keep that stuff in alignment. Remember, even when you are exhausted, tired, you better murmur your tongues in your exhaustion in the moments in which you get a chance to, because that's what's going to keep you in those moments. You better be able to still speak a worship song when you get exhausted, because that's about the only thing that's going to keep you when that push comes and you're going to have to run it. But thank God for the time periods that He put you through, the training in those moments when you hated being processed, because that's the tenacity that you learn to remain persistent. It's going to get you through those moments because you already been through this. Spiritually, you know when to pray, how to pray, and what to pray when you start to see certain things forming. Take care of little foxes before they become big problems. Socially, you will be warned by the Lord, because all of us is in the beard like, yeah, we want to get to where God's taking us, and a lot of us have some major anointings on our lives, and God wants to take us to some major places, and there's some relationships that He wants you to have. He's opening up doors for relationships. He's opening up doors for partnerships. He's opening up doors for marriage, you see. And because of that, because He's opening that up, there are people that are literally sitting, waiting in the wings, watching you, observing you, seeking you out. There's some that are seeking you out because they want you for positive reasons. They want to offer you opportunities. They want to offer you the things in which are necessary in order for you to be able to move forward in the thing that which God has for you. These things are going to move you forward 5 and 10 steps in the areas in which God is seeking to propel you forward in. And then there are other people that are also monitoring you, because they carry a monitoring spirit, and their entire purpose is to monitor what you're doing. Some of them are operating through witchcraft. Some of them are operating because people have sent them to observe you, because they want to pray against what it is that the Lord is doing in your life in order to prevent you from getting where God's telling you to go. They are literally set there to pray against what God is desiring to do in your life. God's still moving, but they're sitting there thinking that they're going to stop with what and where and how God's moving. God has ordained business partners for you. God has ordained friendships for you in certain seasons. He's even going to allow old friends of yours to come back into your life strategically, because he's going to work with them and on them. And if they pass his test, they'll be able to come back into your life, but they may not be able to come back in the capacity in which you may like them to, but you may be able to have conversations with them. They may not be amongst you and shoulder to shoulder like you once were, but they're going to be people coming into your life that are 3 and 4 and 10 levels ahead of you, that you have to stretch yourself to grow into those relationships. But even in the midst of that, I was listening to Stephanie P this morning, and she was talking about how the enemy is going to, these strategic relationships, the enemy is going to show you every red flag that he can show you in order to create doubt, fear, confusion, and frustration, in order to make sure that he stops your forward movement. Because if he can get you to separate from the person that God has aligned you to work with, then he knows that your progression is stunted and you're not going to be able to move forward. I've seen this happen with other people that I know that are in business, and they've openly admitted that. I've seen it happen. It's something tried to happen with that in relation to a particular person that I'm associated with. I wanted to step away, but the Lord said, season, I'm moving in a specific way. You're not done with that person. He shows me and he tells me who I'm supposed to keep in touch with and who I'm not supposed to keep in touch with. We may separate for a season, but you're going to come back together. So God will align you appropriately, but you have to be able to trust him in his movements. You must be able to walk with him as he leads you. And you're going to need to be able to separate from who he needs you to separate from by season. Because if you hold on to people that you ain't supposed to hold on in the season that he needs you to move forward, those people are going to be the very ones that are going to turn on you and stab you in the back. But some of these backstabbers in certain seasons, he's going to allow them to stay there. Jesus allowed Judas to stay in his group until the day that Judas betrayed him. Esther was there to identify Haman, and Haman was there the whole time. So you must be strategic in your relationships and the things in which the Lord is leading you and aligning you in this season. But it's all in order to help grow you, prune you, prepare you, and set you up for the next elevation. A lot of us are in a transitionary season. I had a dream recently where I was in a depot, but it was a futuristic depot for trains, and the trains are coming in and out. We're transitioning. We may not know exactly how, but the time has come for the major transition. Prepare and stay positioned. This is Taj McCameron. Much love, faith, peace, and blessings to you. Until next time. Bye-bye.